Hello everyone and welcome to the March Q&A. We're actually kind of going back in time. We don't have the iPod to tell us the questions. Using a sheet of paper because the internet is down and has been out for like an hour now.
An hour?
Yes. It's actually been an hour and I'm upset to say the very least. Hopefully it'll be back. Otherwise the videos will be delayed for tomorrow. We got 10 questions that you guys wrote in all of February and we're here to answer them. First question is from KMABCMonotone. KMABCMonotone. I tried. Mal, I think your hair is really pretty. Is it naturally colored and straight like that?
Yes. Short answer. My hair is super straight. In fact, I had a perm in elementary school and it fell out like 2 days later.
That's the sound of a perm falling out.
Yes. And as for the color, when I'm out in the sun in the summer, it gets lighter. But I'm not always like out at the beach every day.
But why? Similar question comes from nikkifx and says, Mal, what makeup do you wear?
None. I have some makeup at Sephora, but I normally don't wear it.
You have like the
Mineral
foundation thingy, right? Third question is from Marching Ghost 13, who says, Stephen, what was it like meeting Mal's family for the first time? Stressful. Very stressful. I mean, you like this person and you travel 1,000 miles to see this person, and I'm already stressed out over the fact that I'm going to have to like meet Mal in person, but then this terrible thought of like, oh god, I'll have to meet her father. Like,
Your mom told horror stories of when she would bring boys home.
Yeah, like my grandfather would like, you know, kill kids that came and wanted to date my mom. So, well, not kill, but you know, it was one of those situations where hearing that all my life, I was like, well, I'm screwed. You know, I have to meet her dad and be like, well, I go to art school, make videos. You know, I don't know what I was expecting, but he was a incredibly nice guy and still is an incredibly nice guy and didn't give me a hard time about anything. And I was like, oh, this is fine. Everything's cool. Otherwise, meeting your mom, I mean, your mom was cool. Meeting Carly for the first time, she was super cool. Still is super cool. A little crazy, but super cool. The biggest change from my family to her family was that, you know, I don't really have an extended family, and Mal's family is freaking huge.
Gigantic.
And I didn't really get a taste of that the first time I visited, but that Christmas.
Yeah, the next time you were there.
The next time I was in Wisconsin, oh my god, that was absurd, man. Yeah. I had to learn like 50 names.
My mom's middle of like 13 and my dad's second oldest of 8.
And there's a bajillion cousins, and it's like, it's crazy. It's a little much for me, especially since my family's so different, but I got past it. Next question is from
dockshopcentral. Stephen, what are some of the things you do in Minecraft? Are you good with any redstone?
Honestly, when I play Minecraft, I like building, but I do a lot more adventuring than building. I like to go on adventures with people in mines and find diamonds. I like building, but I don't do a whole lot of it.
I like building.
You prefer building?
Yeah, I like adventuring too, but
I kind of like the way we have our server set up right now because it's forced survival. Like, if you want to build something nice, you got to go get the stuff to build it, and it kind of forces you to play the game. I mean, you can enjoy Minecraft either way, but I kind of think it's cool because when you go to someone's house and you see
what they've done,
the majesty of their place, I mean, they actually earned all of that, and I think that's really cool. Next question is from
Mickey D 983.
Probably Mikey, but yeah, Mikey D 983. Have you ever lived through any natural disasters, Mel?
Tornadoes, but they haven't destroyed my house or our neighbors' houses.
How close were they?
It jumped our house.
Jumped your house?
It jumped. That's how it was described.
Well, I mean, like, was it next door and jumped, or was it like a while over and jumped?
It was like the next subdivision over or something. I was like 6.
Okay. I have, I guess hurricanes count as natural disasters, right?
Yeah.
I really don't consider hurricanes a huge threat unless they're like Category 4. I've went through I don't know how many hurricanes, but a good bit, like 7 maybe. I don't have a definitive number, and that number may have changed over the course of the vlog's history as I answered that question before, but probably like 7. But they've all been Cat 3s or lower. There's been a few Cat 3s where people are like, this is going to be really bad, and we left town. But there's been a lot of hurricanes where we just stayed in town for. There were hurricane seasons, where multiple hurricanes were coming. So if they weren't bad, we just stuck around for them. And it would rain a lot, and it'd get really windy, and occasionally trees would fall. But we never got hurt, and it was always okay. The closest time we ever came to getting hurt was, there was one time where we went and stayed at my friend Austin's house, because his house was more structurally sound than ours. And when we came back the next morning, a tree had fallen in our driveway, and it would have smashed our car. But we went to his house, so that was cool. It was like narrow escape.
You were alive for Hugo, but you were like
I was alive
a couple months old.
Yeah, Hugo is like the big hurricane that destroyed a lot of Myrtle Beach in '89. But I was very young. Mm-hmm. I was like 6 months old, so I don't really remember that. But
obviously.
But my parents do. Mm-hmm. They were around for it, which is crazy. That was a Cat 4. Maybe it was a Cat 5.
I think it was 4 merging on 5.
Okay, I don't know.
Remember exactly.
People don't care about the statistics of the hurricanes that hit Myrtle Beach, and that is sad. Next question is from NeoShockBlue, who says, if you had $1 million, but you could only buy a house, what kind of house would you want to live in? Like a mansion / regular house around a lake, mountain, beach, large flat plain field of grass, forest, etc.
A beach house?
I would not want to live at a beach house, because that sucker would be destroyed. Like, bam.
I know, but they're so cool.
They're not that cool.
Stilts.
They're not that cool. And I've seen so many houses destroyed. When hurricanes come, I would never, ever in a million years want to live in a beach house, ever. The stilts thing? No, screw it. No. The people that own those kind of houses have money to throw away. And I don't know if I could dump $1 million into a house, but that's part of the question. You could only buy a house. To me, honestly, it doesn't really matter what I'm living in. I mean, obviously I want to have a livable place, but it really matters to me, like, the area I'm in. Mm-hmm. Like, I couldn't live out in the country. Like, I would go nuts. I have to have fast internet, and I have to live close to amenities. I have to be able to get to certain restaurants or stores or whatever. I mean, everyone's different, and that's just the way I am. Like, I would go crazy if I lived down in the middle of nowhere. Columbia was awesome. I love Myrtle Beach, but everything in Myrtle Beach is in a friggin' straight line.
Takes an hour to get to the other side.
Yeah, and if you live over here,
which we do.
Yes, and we actually live on the border of like friggin' North Carolina. So if you live over here and you want something down here, you have to go all the way to get it. It sucks. Whereas in Columbia, everything was like friggin' grid, and there were 6,000 of everything. So you just like pulled out your driveway and you were there.
Yeah.
So Columbia was cool for that reason. The next question is from Psi Yoshi, and he asks, if you guys had to leave the house immediately and could only grab 3 things each before you left, what would you grab, excluding the kittens and each other?
My external hard drive, my camera. And after that, it sort of gets confusing. Like, I'd want to grab the picture of Mel I have, that really nice one I did in photography. But then I also think our wedding album, even though it would be on the hard drive. So.
Woman after my own heart. The first thing I would grab would be my 2 externals. I've got the external that's backing up the OS, and I have another external that's backing up all the footage. So I would grab those. If those each count as separate entities, then fine. 2 objects, that's all right. The third thing I would take, I think I would take my childhood copy of Earthbound. That holds a lot of sentimental value to me. So I would probably take that. Although realistically, since all of these objects are small, I could probably grab all the copies of Earthbound.
You could take the gigantic blue IKEA bag, set it underneath the video game shelf, and just sort of shake.
Yeah. I'd be like Chrono Trigger, and then I'd be like trying to figure out the worth. I'd be like, is that one? Yeah, this one's worth. Is that one? I realistically, I'd love to take my computer because it's worth money. I would hate to have to rebuild that. Although maybe if I rebuild it, there would be less problems with it. So maybe that would be a good thing.
All right, our next question comes from Calderoh.
Calderoh.
Have you ever considered doing a cross-country road trip to visit all of the minor characters from the vlogs? If so, which states or countries, if applicable, would you have to travel to? Mal, go ahead and help Stephen with maps since we know you're better at it.
Low blow, Calderoh. I mean, to be fair, you're not better at maps. I don't think you're better at maps.
Yes, I am.
I don't think so. I don't think that. You mean like geography? Because I bet if we each were given a map of the U.S. and you had to write in all the state names, I would be able to do better than you.
I can do all of them.
I can do all of them.
Can you do capitals?
Okay, no, but no one cares about the capitals.
Can you do the Canadian territories?
No. But Canada's like up there. It's in the stratosphere. We don't know anything about Canada. No one's ever been there, Mal. You know what? Let's not talk about maps anymore. I'm making myself look stupid. Have I ever actually considered doing that? I've always wanted to take a cross-country road trip. I really have. I think it'd be really, really cool. It's just one of those situations where money and time. We're probably really good candidates for it.
Yeah.
Because of Mal being a teacher and because of the work I do, we could take a month in the summer and do that. And that would be so cool. And it's something me and Mal have discussed before, so I don't know when it would happen, but if it happens, you guys will know. We kind of almost sort of did that when we did it last summer.
Yeah.
I mean, we drove to Wisconsin and back, but it was a 3-week trip. I mean, it was like 3 days and then 4 days of travel. Mm-hmm. And then 2 weeks in between. So I don't know. It's something that could happen in the future. As far as where we'd have to go to see everyone from the vlog, a good amount of people still live here. Jeremy and Austin live up in Virginia. Nick lives in Virginia. Taylor is down in Savannah, but as soon as he finishes up his master's in May, he'll be back in Michigan.
Or wherever he ends up.
Or wherever he decides to work. Dan's down in Jacksonville. The furthest we'd have to go is Alex, who's in San Diego. Is that it?
Yeah.
Ian, I don't know where Ian is anymore. I really don't. Like, I kept up with Ian a good bit, and I don't know where he is anymore. Like, he was in Texas, and then he was in, like, Wyoming and Idaho. I have no idea where he is right now. I mean, I could...
3 kids now?
Yes, he has 3 kids.
He had twin girls.
I don't think we've ever said that on the vlog before. You guys remember Ian, if you watched a lot of the college vlogs, he had a son named Jacob. They actually gave birth to twin girls a while back, actually. They're probably a year old now. Mm-hmm. But I haven't seen them since college, so kind of sad. But I'm sure I'll run into him someday. We're still friends on Facebook. And I would tell you where he lived if the internet worked. Son of a gun. That's the next question. Duff CX4X Eva. I might have said that right. You mentioned once that you were in the UK for a week. Where were you, and what sites did you see? Predominantly, the trip was to visit both London and Paris. But we stopped, before we got to Paris, we went to a very small village that was near near Utah Beach. And I don't remember the name. And once again, of course, I could pull it up if the internet worked. But I don't remember. I just remember it was very, very small. And it had historical significance because it was like a paratrooper had fallen into the village and was stuck on the church roof or something for like 3 days. I don't know. I'm trying to recall this, but it was something like that. Some kind of paratrooper. And they had a really nice church there and a really, really delicious bakery. It was amazing. But I don't remember the name of the place, which is sad. But as far as the sites, I mean, London, Paris stuff. When I went with my senior class in high school. And it's a shame because looking back, we really missed out on some opportunities. I don't want to say that I went to school with a bunch of rednecks. That's not polite and not really entirely true. But the people that I went to school with, and even myself at the time, so I can't separate myself.
I was just going to say it's probably the age thing most.
Yeah, it's probably the age thing more than anything. But we just didn't care about culture. You know, it was one of those situations, and I know it's an age thing, but it's also like an area thing.
Yeah.
It really is. We just didn't care a whole lot about culture, and it's sad because I look back and I'm like, you know, there were so many times where we ate at like KFC, and in England, and it would have been so amazing to eat food. You guys know now, because like now I love food. How amazing it would have been to eat food at these places, and I didn't do it. You know, the most extravagant meal that I had was the very last night, and we took a like a riverboat cruise thing along the Paris.
The Seine.
Is that what it's called? Okay, that. And we like saw the Eiffel Tower at night, and we had, you know, different. That was the first time I ever had salmon. Believe it or not, I was in 12th grade. I mean, there were so many things, and looking back now, I'm like, oh my god, I could have had this, I could have done this. There's so many things I could have done, but I was an uncultured slob because I just turned 18 years old, and not that any of you 18-year-olds are uncultured slobs, but I was. And, you know, looking back, oh god, so many missed opportunities. That's one of the main reasons I want to go back. I want to go back.
They asked about the UK.
Sorry, did I get off on a tangent a little bit? Maybe?
France.
A little bit. Well, I said London, but also, you know, Paris. But that was why I was in the UK. I was in Europe. I was in that part of the world for that. London and Paris, and also that little village that had orange juice. I actually made, it's going to be weird, I made a movie about this. We shot 13 hours of footage while we were in Europe. And I turned it into a 3.5-hour film, which is way too freaking long. And I can't watch it anymore because it's so long. It used to exist online, but I think it's gone now, so don't even bother looking. Even if it is online, don't bother looking. It's really terrible. So maybe one day I'll cut it again, cut it down to size. I say I'll do that all the time, and I never actually do that.
You're always like, you know, Europe trip.
One day, man. Or we'll just go back and we'll vlog it, and that'll be the new one.
Last question.
Yeah.
MetaLuigi425 says, Stephen, this is an extremely important question. Did we ever find out what color the carpet was?
You know, I think about this from time to time, partially because people bring it to my attention, bring it to my inbox. And I've thought about, follow me here, I've thought about calling SCAD and asking them what color the carpet is in Barnard Village. I should really do that. Oh my god, you know what would be hilarious? Is if we got people watching to call SCAD and be like, could you tell me what color the carpet is in Barnard Village? Can you imagine them getting like 100 calls and they'd be like, it's blue or it's black, and depending on who you talk to, they would tell you something different, and then we just tally it all up. Or I could just call and find out.
Or you could like figure out who lives in Barnard Village and take like a box of Pantone colors.
And do it that way?
Yeah.
This all seems too difficult. Anyway, no, we never found out. And it's really subjective, I guess. But maybe I will call. Or maybe if one of you want to take the initiative, call and then report back in the comments. Do it.
You're going to have like 20 people.
It'd be hilarious. It would be freaking hilarious. Call the Savannah campus and ask them what color the carpet is in the rooms at Barnard. At Barnard Village. That would be awesome. I would love it. Well, it's one of those things that very few people are actually going to do that, because some people get embarrassed about calling about random ridiculous stuff, but there will be a few people that do that. I think that's amazing. Scat's going to be pissed at me.
Don't they have like an online instant message question thing?
Chat thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could probably do it that way too. I'm really curious what they would tell you. It might vary.
They're going to get this influx and they're going to be like, what?
Who wants to know this information? Anyway, this was a fun Q&A. I had fun with this. It started off slow and then it went and I rambled way too long over that UK question. Reminiscing. Thank you guys for watching. We do Q&A at the end of every month. If you want your question answered or potentially answered, leave a question down below. We will get to it at the end of March. Right? Yes.
We'll have time.
Yeah, things are going to be busy for us in March. Very busy.
Going into April?
Yeah, just it's going to be busy because of PAX and like recording ahead. There's just a lot of stuff going on. So just bear with us, but we're going to try to get it out on time.
It's exciting though.
It's exciting.
Lots of stuff.
it's exciting. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next month for another Q&A. Hopefully with the internet.